What's going on, guys? Welcome back to Life Skills. Today I'm going to teach you 3 basic car maintenance tips that will keep your car running smoother, running longer, and away from the mechanic shop for a longer period of time. We're in quarantine. Not all of us have had the luxury of going back to work yet, and believe it or not, letting your car sit on the street or sit in the parking lot not being driven can be very bad for it. You might be surprised if you walk outside and try to start your car and it doesn't turn over for you. So let's get started. Alright guys, tip number 1 for maintaining your car is cleaning out your battery terminals. I think this is incredibly important and it's often very neglected. Your battery terminals can get corroded with battery acid. You'll start seeing like this white flaky stuff forming around it. That's stopping electricity from traveling through your entire car. It's not getting to your alternator, it's not getting to your starter, it's not getting to the electrical components in your car. And the first thing you'll notice, and this is usually after it's already gotten really bad, is your lights start to dim on your dashboard as well as your headlights. If you see that happening, chances are your battery terminals need to be cleaned and you'll probably have to recharge your battery at this point also. So don't let it get to that point because it's super easy to clean. All you need is a open wrench, usually a 1/2 inch or 10 millimeter depending on the size of your terminals, and you break both nuts open and then you just loosen them off. Sometimes it takes a little bit of push. Take them off and clean them out. Now when you take your terminals off, do not let them touch other metal in the engine bay. You want to make sure to put them next to plastic or rubber or something like that. And then the second tool you're going to need is a wire brush. I have a tool specifically designed for cleaning battery terminals, but you can do this with a wire brush, you can do this with sandpaper, whatever you have at your disposal. And it's a good idea to actually keep that stuff in your car. But then all you're doing is cleaning out the inside. You see all that stuff that's falling down right there? That is stopping your car from letting electricity flow freely. So clean it out from the inside of the terminal, and then you clean the battery as well. So take this side, also has that wire brush texture. You put that around the battery terminal and just give it a couple of runs around just to break off that corrosion and get the dust off of it. Blow all that extra dust off of there, and you see how clean it looks now. You see how it's shiny all the way inside as well as inside the battery terminal also. That's what you want. And then you'll hear that little ticking, that electrical contact as you reapply it. Do that again for the negative side. Again, don't let it touch metal. Reattach it. Tighten your bolts. And you're done. It's that simple. It takes all of 5 minutes, and you'll probably notice that after you do this, your car's going to be more responsive as well. When you're pushing on that throttle, your car's going to feel faster because, well, it is, because it's running like it's supposed to. Alright guys, step number 2 is check your fluids. You got 4 fluids in your car. You got your radiator fluid, you got your engine oil, you got your brake fluid, you got your power steering fluid, and sometimes you have clutch fluid as well depending on the make and model of your car. Sometimes clutch fluid can only be changed by a mechanic, but not in my particular case. I'm good to go. But any one of these fluids, if they're not filled up to the proper levels, can cause a whole lot of problems on your car, and it can cost you a hell of a lot more money than you anticipated by just spending the $2 or $3 to actually keep it filled. Alright guys, last tip, change your oil. It's incredibly simple. It's literally 1 bolt. You take the bolt off, you let the oil drain down, you put the bolt back on, and then you fill the top with new oil. That's it. You're done. It takes all of 10 minutes. It's not as dirty as people think it is if you know what you're doing. And this whole episode started because I just did all of this repair and maintenance on Ashley's car because she's finally going back to work. I just decided to show you my truck because it's a lot easier with camera angles. And guys, if you like a girl and you want to impress her this is a great way to arrange a pseudo first date. So my best friend showed me this idea, and it has worked out very well for both of us. I can only think of one situation where I didn't end up dating the girl afterwards, but that is a conversation for another story. So what you do is you work auto mechanics into the conversation, and more often than not, the girl's gonna say, you know what, I haven't changed my oil in a while, I really need to get around to it, etc., etc. That's when you offer to do that for her, and if she likes you even a little bit, she will say yes, she will accept your offer, and the next thing you know, she's coming over to your place, you're changing her oil, you're fixing little micro things like cleaning out her battery terminals or checking her fluids. And if she is a considerate person, she's handing you tools, it becomes a flirtatious get to know you scenario, which can lead to a second and third date. Because what you're doing, guys, is you are demonstrating value. You're showing her that you are a person that is capable of doing things and solving problems.
Thank you. You too.
Good girl, that's all you get. All right, guys, that's all I got for you. Did you guys know that In-N-Out does root beer floats? If you didn't, now you do. Don't be afraid to work on your own cars. It's not difficult. It just takes a little bit of practice. You're not going to break it. You're not going to break down on the freeway. Ashley is going to work on Monday, so we might not see her for a little while. Can you tell everybody what you're working on, or you're not allowed?
I think I can.
She's not allowed. Babe, do you remember the first time that I worked on your car?
Yes.
Did that work for you?
I mean, it did, because I would always take my car in to get my oil changed. I never had a friend or knew anyone out here who could do it. Well, it was only my brother who could do it back home. So the fact that this is before we even started dating, but you offered to change the oil in my car. He said he knew how to do it. Didn't charge me, and I was like,
of course not.
All right. And at the time, I was really poor, so we spent the day getting to know each other while he changed the oil in my car. So it was great.
Weird how that happens, right, guys? I know what I'm talking about. Anyway, we're gonna enjoy our dinner. I don't know what we're gonna talk about next week, but I'm gonna make it as fun as possible. We will see you next time on Life Skills.